answer here is relatively obvious because Washington is a city, not a state. And that's why when our forefathers created, they didn't make it a state. I have a good friend and he talks about what it takes to build a good economy. And he says, we either have to manufacture it, we have to grow it, or we have to mine it. Of course, you can milk it too. I guess what he's saying is wealth is created by manufacturing, agriculture, or natural minerals. And those are things that I think every state has in some degree. I'd like to ask anyone up there if they have an idea as far as the number of manufacturing jobs in Washington, D.C. I mean, usually with a big city, Milwaukee, Chicago, it's substantial. Talk a little bit about the agriculture in Washington, D.C., and talk about the mining or drilling in Washington, D.C. All three of which have to be very tiny compared to that what we get in a normal state. So I'll ask, I guess anybody want to take a stab at that? Because we have people talking about the workforce of Washington, D.C.
Thank you, Congressman. This is Mayor Bowser speaking. And let me just say, you refer to us as just a city and not really a state. When the truth is, we function as a city and a county and a state right now. So in fact, what we are is special. We're different. And we're different in a lot of good ways. In the way that we're different, that is un-American, is that we don't have 2 senators. You say, what does it take to build a good economy?
Well, I only have 5 minutes.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I only have 5 minutes.
Well, let me answer your question about our good economy. We have a great economy. Even in the face of COVID, you heard—
Your economy is based on government and your economy is based on tourism, which is a different thing. In other words, retail, which is a different thing other than manufacturing, agriculture, or mining or drilling. And there might be some little manufacturing I'm not aware of, but compared to even other cities, Chicago, Milwaukee, Detroit.
Sure. Well, there may be states who rely on manufacturing, and I would argue that their economies aren't as good as ours. And you heard our chief financial officer already tell you that the makeup of our jobs is in fact 25% federal government.
You're not asking my question, and I only have 5 minutes. Could you talk? Manufacturing is so important for creating wealth of the country in a way retail or tourism is not. Can you tell me about the manufacturing or agriculture or mining in your district? I think normally when a congressman or even more a senator weighs the bills that are up there, they have to address how they will affect manufacturing, agriculture, and mining, which is where the wealth of a country comes from.
Sure.
And I'm not aware of virtually any of that in your city.
We do not have any mines, Congressman, but we are investing in other energy sources. For example, we believe that a way to create jobs and employ Washingtonians is to invest in solar energy, for example. And we are also, Congressman, very focused on how we attract. I'm trying to answer your question, sir. You asked me about manufacturing, and we're very intent on how we attract businesses who are investing in creating solar panels and employing D.C. residents. Further, our hospitality sector, and I ask you not to not take it very seriously because it employs people, it innovates.
I'm sorry, you're dodging the question, so let me ask somebody else a question.
I have to finish.
Madam Chair,
helps us contribute.
Time belongs
Madam
to the
Chair,
gentleman from
let the
Wisconsin.
questioner ask the question, please.
I'd like to go on to another question because she won't answer these, and I think it's because there really is
She's
none.
happy to answer your questions.
A general question
Madam Chair, the witnesses on the other side have repeatedly kept our witnesses, especially the mayor of the District of Columbia, from fully answering questions, even though you have been generous.
Madam Chair, your side does that every time. Debbie Wasserman Schultz.
Even though you have been
Regular order. The time belongs to the gentleman.
The 5 minutes belong to Mr. Grofman.
She has been generous in allowing time. So she has allowed time for
you all do this every session. You have selective memory on that side.
Order. The time belongs to the gentleman from Wisconsin to ask his question. And we will recognize the gentlelady from the District of Columbia, Mayor Bowser, to give a answer that she feels that she, at the end of his questioning. Okay. Mr. Congressman, you're recognized. The time is yours right now.
Okay, I guess the point I'm making is the electorate in Washington is very different from other electorates, and as a result may make strange decisions. The District of Columbia has the second highest per pupil spending in the United States at over 22,000 a pupil, compared to around 15,000 for Maryland and 12,000 for Virginia. Nevertheless, the District of Columbia ranks last in the country in 4th and 8th grade reading assessments and worst in the nation in writing assessments. This concerns me in that insofar as they right now have control of certain things, on education, you could arguably say, given the cost and the results, they're the worst in the country. And I wondered if somebody would care to comment on, given it's such a wealthy district in the first place, largely because of the seat of government is there, what conclusions we can draw in that we have the second highest spending district and state in the country, but we're a state, and arguably the worst test scores in the country.
Well, I would disagree with that assessment, Congressman. I don't know what you're pointing to, but if you look at what is frequently called the nation's report card, also known as the NAEP scores, it is shown for the last several years that the District of Columbia has among the fastest improving urban school districts in the country. We, and I know I speak for Chairman Mendelson when I say this, regard our investments as education our top priority in Washington, D.C.
Okay, the gentleman's time has expired. The gentleman from Maryland, Mr. Mfume, you are